Hey Virgo, I hope you guys are doing amazing. We got a reading for you today, so do take it as it resonates, of course. I know it's been a while, but here I am, and here we go. So today we have the Queen of Swords and we have the Two of Wands, but it is in the reverse. I want you to really identify these cards together and know that there is a duality, a opposition in these two, because with the Queen of Swords, of course, she can be all air if you want her to be. Anything that really works for your truth and your reality is what you should, go for. But in my reality and the way that I read these cards is with their dualities of the Queens and the Kings, and we have a Libra and a Virgo's energy, so you are showing up with the Queen of Swords, regardless if you see it as all air or not. It's still there, and that does interpret that this is a very strong part of yourself that is being read right now. But I want you to see that this is where it comes into being Libra and then Aries. Aries and Libra opposite signs, so that's the opposition that I see here. But with the energies, I want you to also know that the Queen of Swords would rule not just like air signs, she would rule the 6th and the 7th houses. You see what I'm saying? So that would make more sense, wouldn't it? If you realize that 6th house is service and that 7th house is relationships, and you want to say that the Queen of Swords rules how people govern their relationships, and that would be exactly what the Queen of Swords is traits are, and that would be very observant. For one, they are very candid. Nonetheless, they also have a lot of honesty and truth and bluntness within what they see and how they speak. Now, that's why a lot of people go to a Queen of Swords energy type of individual that has the insight, because they're interpreting from a judgmental point of view. They're interpreting from a all aspects point of view and the logic behind it, but there's empathy within the Queen of Swords because she is a feminine energy. So if you want, that's what I mean by why I see it in the way it is, because there's so many other ways to interpret just that specifically, that specific thing and those specifically. Either way, I know so many topics. Anyway, so with this energy, obviously there's a challenge, but when we see a challenge, some people fret a challenge, but I'm going to tell you that, you know what, challenges, well, yeah, they give us that ability to know that within us is the potential to overcome it. So like that's the point of a challenge, is actually to test your own inner strength and your own ability to rise to your own potential, because we all have all the things we will ever need within us. It's just life, and the lessons are going to activate those things within us. And yes, there's a balance of everything, but some people can take one thing and they can go the other direction with it. And it's not always good, right? You could be really highly aggressive, but if you're highly aggressive in a manner of getting things done to see the benefit in the world, to see a change, or have other people actually kind of follow your lead and knowing why somebody needs to be actually feeling their aggression, then I feel like, that's actually leading in a way of trying to lead a population and understand a sense of anger and aggression and why we have it. But other people that get all mad and aggressive and they want to go slash somebody's tires, or they want to go, bust somebody's windows or whatever they want to do, but the revenge part, right? That is not a good way of leading in an aggressive state or manner. But yes, there's always good and bad. So with that energy, I feel like you guys have a decision you want to make, and it's a passionate one with the Two Wands being here, and it's just something you haven't really, you've been anticipating, but you haven't really acted on it. And that's what that is. Two wands is action, and since it's in the reverse, I know that you have a passion. You have it in there, it's in there, you just haven't taken any action on it. Exactly. And the Queen of Swords, it could be that there is something that you are trying to maintain a balance within as well, maybe even a what would you call that, reputation, because some people can't just go off and just start doing whatever they want to do without other people doing whatever. Because so this could be part of the challenge, or something within you that's very passionate, and you're like, well, if I do that, there's gonna be a lot of people looking at me all weird. I don't know, as simple as this, what came to my mind, and a lot of people struggle with this, is a tattoo. And I see it all the time, like people are like, I don't know if I should get this because, somebody else said this about it and made me feel insecure. Well, of course it'd make you feel insecure, because it was somebody else's insecurities rubbing off on you, and you allowed yourself to accept that insecurity as your own. But, and that's okay. It's a Virgo thing. We all end up doing that. I'm a Virgo. ascending, and I am a Chinese rooster, so I definitely understand the Virgo tendencies and whatnot. I also fall into those little Virgo, what do you want to call them, perfectionism type situations and mindsets. So yeah, I get that. But either way, the thing with that, you guys need to stop worrying about what other people think. Okay, and say it was a tattoo, right? And say it's like something you're passionate about, something you really, really, really want. You've been thinking about it. You've been like really, dwelling about it. Like you're dwelling in it. You're thinking about it. It's not totally bad to dwell in things. It's sometimes you're just really in it. But yeah, you're passionate about it, but you haven't been able to do it. Maybe because the Queen of Swords is like you being the way you are. You're gonna feel like somebody's gonna judge you. Somebody's gonna look at you differently. Somebody's not gonna see you as this high vibrational advice giving beauty. But that's not true. Okay, you do you. Because like I'm gonna tell you, the one thing is, if you're giving advice, wouldn't you want to give the advice of the person that actually lived the experience? And if you're telling other people to live their life and have a great time, wouldn't you also be thinking you should be taking that advice you're giving? That's the whole point of a teacher. When a teacher's a real teacher, they are giving advice, but they're also living the advice they are giving, because that's how somebody grows wisdom in the general senses anyway. So it's almost like somebody's being like a teacher, right? This is the example, and it's not a bad one, so don't take it as like something bad. But the example I'm getting from this, so you're a teacher and you're teaching, I don't know, singing or something, right? You're like, I'm okay, teaching them all about the vocals and the chords of their voice and the sounding of high pitched and low pitched and all those things. But like, say you aren't interpreting those actual lessons you're giving into your own life. So basically, you're telling other people how to live their life, but you are holding back from also finding your full potential by following your own advice. So sometimes people like that is like, you have the experience, but you're not fully allowing other people to view you as that experience in a sense. Like they just think you're giving advice because you're giving advice. Like, where did you learn this advice? So if you show through experience of yourself, other people will have a better time and a better grasp. And not to mention, they'll see that they can have the potential to do it, because it really does. It's like one of the things that's the opposite of jealousy is, I don't know what the actual word would be, but the thing with that is like somebody can be very jealous of what somebody has, but it's almost like if you were to look at it from a different angle and you see it from this perspective of, if they can do it, so can I. So, like that's the feeling here. So if you were to just do what you want to do, say it is a tattoo, say somebody doesn't like where you want to get it, okay? Because that kind of situation can happen a lot too. Like, maybe you shouldn't get it here, whatever. Get it somewhere you could get it, and that maybe wouldn't totally be revealed, but it would still be something that's a part of you. And only the people that are vulnerable enough to know you, because only people that really are going to matter really are the ones that are going to see you in a bikini. Now, the other people on the beach, it doesn't matter what they think, because they're not a part of your life, right? And if you're out doing a beach thing for work, nobody can complain about that. So that's the situation. You could look at that in any aspect, but like, yes, no, you get to do what you want to do because it's your life. You want to dye your hair blue, do that. Get wigs that are matching to brown, blonde, and black. If you can't have colored hair at work, still color your hair. Get a wig so that when you go to work, you still look professional, but you still have your great time on the side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just little ways to get around things that it's beneficial for everybody in a sense. You're not trying to please anybody else, but you are trying to maintain things like your job or like, relationships, whatever. You're maintaining still with the harmonizing energy of you still being you, but also showing up professionally, because that's what a Virgo would do anyway. So there's nothing actually going to be truly taken away from you just because you get this tattoo, just because you color your hair, just because you change up your clothing attire, just because you decide to go on this trip, just because you decided to not do this school but try a different school, just because you didn't want to go to school at all, just because you chose to get a different job, just because whatever it may be, you choose to do something that makes you happy. Other people will fall in line. They're going to see that. They're going to see somebody else did something to make them happy, or left a relationship, divorced that person, whatever it may be. It kind of puts other people in sequence to kind of also do the same. The people that are going to need to see it will see it. That's the whole point. Y'all need to just remember that. People that are going to see it are going to need to see it, and there's reasons for why they're going to see it. whether they're mad or jealous or angry or envious, or whether they don't like what you did because they're so miserable within themselves and they have to sit and reflect on what you did to make yourself happy. They have to sit and reflect with that. That's something that you doing something for you is going to send a ripple effect to all the other energies around you. So I hope that actually helped you in any way it could. That was pretty significant to me really channeling in all that because I didn't even have to get anything. But that's what I'm getting, and I'm going to leave that actually here. Let's get an oracle, actually. I'll get an oracle from my All Things Considered Part 2 by Empress Maggie, your Vibe Tribe family, where we have evolutionalized ourselves into the cosmic soul tribe, but that's what happens when we grow and expand. Now, aha! This is the perfect card. You guys watched it come out. This is my daughter, of course, but allow yourself the freedom to still feel happiness even if others are feeling sadness. Exactly what we were talking about. Others have a right to their emotions of the day as well as you. The weight of others' emotions are not meant for you to carry. Emotions are consistently changing. Embrace your own. You're meant to feel the emotions of your own moments, no matter what. So you heard it from Spirit himself directly. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, Virgo. You really do deserve it. Please do whatever makes you happy.